Every year in the United States, over 92 billion pounds of food goes to waste. And the biggest sector for wasting food is not agriculture, it's not restaurants or farms, it's residential. Household food waste makes up over 40 tons of food waste annually. That's the equivalent of $1,500 going in the trash. But what if we could turn that waste into money instead? Gardeners know that food can be upcycled into compost to make really good amendments for the garden. But if you go to your local gardener's supply, you'll find that compost can be $10 a bag. Home composting's been around for a long time, but mostly it's done outdoors and it's not accessible to everyone. But in the last several years, there's been new technology on the market to bring home composting indoors in the form of a kitchen composter. There's several brands that are out there. Some are big name brands, some are Kickstarters, some go on the countertop, and some are the size of your trash can. I was secretly hoping this would be the perfect solution for us because in our climate in the Rocky Mountains, we have several months of winter, very, very cold months, and outdoor composting isn't a great fit to keep the compost going year round. Additionally, in the months where it's not freezing outside, we have to battle bears coming, digging through any kind of trash or any kind of smells that attract their attention. Definitely was not wanting to bring more wildlife closer to the house. I was hoping the kitchen composter would be the solution for that. Let me show you what we got. So parked between our trash can and the dog food bin is our Reencle kitchen composter. I was curious about Reencle because it was different from a few of the other models I saw that basically just dehydrate food and chop it up. The Reencle is different because it uses a microorganism to help digest and break down the food. So right away, I knew it was a little bit different and more in the style of what I was looking for. Inside, there's an impaler that spins and turns the food, so there's no chopping of food involved. And there's a little heating element in there to keep everything at a certain temperature to encourage the food breakdown. After putting in the food can be completely broken down within 24 to 48 hours, which is very fast compared to a traditional compost outside. In fact, I've emptied this back in November, so it's been about 4 months of adding food on a regular daily basis, and it's just now beginning to need emptying. This unit's really fun because there is a motion detector. You can use your foot, it will open up the lid for you, or you can use the button to open or close the lid as well. The power button's on top. There is a button for drying if you find that your mixture is too much moisture. And there's also a button for purifying, which sort of activates a fan and gets the carbon filter to take out some odor. Now, I've never noticed much of an odor out of this at all. When the lid is open, it kind of has an aroma of roasted nuts, if that makes sense. Nothing unpleasant. The only time I ever noticed it having any other kind of odor was throwing in too much watermelon, and then it started to smell like fermented fruit. The limit is about 2 pounds of input per day. And the microorganism that the Reencle uses is highly tolerant of acid and salt, so it can handle processing more foods than just fruits and vegetables. So you can throw your dinner scraps in there or moldy leftovers. You can handle fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy products, and meats. The things that you don't want to put in here are anything that your human body couldn't break down, like bones or hair or pits or shells from nuts. The only time we ever had a problem with the Reencle was when we had a house guest unknowingly put pits of avocados and mangoes into the Reencle. Composter wasn't able to handle the pits, and I could hear some churning sounds in the motor, like it was struggling to turn. So I think it got jammed up. And after I noticed what was wrong, I pulled all of the pits out. After that, the motor was running loud. The silver lining, though, was that I contacted the company, let them know what the problem was to help me diagnose it, that it was the motor that needed replacing. So for no charge, they sent me a brand new motor with instructions of how to replace it. Now it's as good as new. I know one question you're probably wondering is, how good is the compost that comes out of this thing? Interestingly, it's very dry and has a brownish, like a tan brown color. You can see some eggshells that I put in there yesterday that are still working through. Again, it has that roasted nut sort of aroma to it. It's not unpleasant. Definitely very dry and something that you could easily blend into your soil. Now, one word of caution is that if you put it into a bag and tie it up, there can be some residual moisture in there, and that will cause the compost to mold. So I left this one with the bag sort of opened so that some air could get into it. I left it inside instead of outside, and I don't have any mold problems at all. Now, when it comes to mixing the compost into soil, it's recommended to do a ratio of 1 to 10. So 1 part compost to 10 parts soil. I added compost last year to my raised garden beds, as well as repotting my indoor plants as well. So overall, I'm definitely pleased that we got the Reencle Composter. Definitely looking forward to turning more of this into this and having a really healthy garden this year. It definitely checks the boxes for our needs at our location and the challenges we faced not being able to compost outside. As far as price, Reencle retails for $4.99, which is pretty pricey when you compare it to other outdoor composters. But when you compare it to other models of indoor composters, it's about half the price. But let me know if you have any additional questions, anything that I did not go over. I'll put a shopping link in the video description if you want to check it out. So our kitchen composter is worth it. I think the Reencle is. It's a little bit of an investment, but it's an investment that's going to give back to your garden. So let me know what you think in the comments.